Established Chernobyl.
Hi, this is Jibanyan. Welcome back to Toono Around the World. Today we're going to take a look at the PS1 games that never left Japan. Let's get started. The country is Japan.
There are plenty of solid options when it comes to fighters on the PlayStation, but one that often gets overlooked is Toono 2. Now, the first iteration did see a Western release, but unfortunately its sequel stayed in Japan, which is a real big shame, as it builds upon and surpasses nearly every aspect of the original by introducing many new elements that make it the best way to experience the franchise. All of the characters return, as well as several new additions that all offer up their own unique style of fighting. The standout aspect, though, has to be the quest mode. It sees you building up your character's attributes, trading with merchants, catching monsters. The list just goes on and on. It's a really engrossing feature of the game.
That's really one good thing to do.
Than others on the market. The minute-to-minute gameplay is tight and responsive, with the main goal being that to perform a series of combos that at first can be quite tricky to execute, mainly because of the timing that can be quite demanding and unusual. But after some time of the game, it all soon becomes second nature. So if you're on the lookout for a new fighting game, Toono 2 is one that I highly recommend. Neketsu is essentially a side-scrolling beat-em-up that gives the player the option of playing one of 3 different characters. Naturally, each of them differ not only in appearance, but in ability as well. From the fast and nimble to the slow-paced and more powerful, they each offer different ways to enjoy the game, so trying out each of them is a good idea to find one that suits you best. Now, the control setup is extremely simple. You have a jump, basic attack, and a super ability that sacrifices a portion of your life upon performing it, as well as a double jump, a dash, and a throw that when combined provide a good amount of variety to beat down your enemies. As you would expect, a ton of items and temporary power-ups litter the battleground as well. Visually, the experience is nothing spectacular, but what stands out is the level design that borders on the bizarre at times. From the city streets to the insides of a whale, the developers clearly had a lot of fun designing the game, and it really shows, right down to the enemies themselves, which is just as peculiar. Overall, Neketsu is a solid beat-em-up, and although it's not going to light the world on fire, it's still a blast to play and well and truly deserves the attention of anyone fond of the genre. Speed Power Gunbike is a rather unique
Speed Power Gunbike,
various different styles of play to create something it can call its own. The game is set in Japan and takes place in the near future, where versatile machines known as gunbikes have become the norm and allow their users to take advantage of the unique abilities they offer. The first is racing, which sees you traveling at breakneck speeds, with the second being that of a combat mech. What makes it neat is that these 2 states can be switched on the fly, which introduces some really interesting gameplay opportunities. The most important
seems a little bit like F-Zero.
Something known as energy. At the start of each run, you possess an amount of 100, with it slowly trickling down every few seconds, and every time you take damage. The main objective is to simply get in and out before your energy.
Well, you get along with
it.
This.
Sounds simple, but in execution,
close
it's
enough
a totally
with
different affair. Largely due
to still a little bit closer than that.
Feel like mazes. A variety of bosses also occupy the world and make for some of the more trickier moments in the game. Thankfully, your bike possesses a super attack known as your G power. It results in destroying everything on the screen in style.
That's my power.
A really
still got on the list.
If you've never played it and are looking for something fresh,
I'm a kitty
Super Power
cat.
Gunbike
What,
is a
you
great
gonna
option.
believe me?
The first thing that will strike many when it comes
Panzer
to Panzer Bandit are the
1997.
sprites that are implemented throughout the game. Each character, enemy, and location literally pops to life on the screen with a clear level of mastery. Gameplay-wise, it's just as impressive.
Still love
with
this
several modes
character.
available for the player
Still
to
love you
digest.
guys.
You start off with 4
Still love you
characters and
guys.
are tasked with making your way through 8 stages whilst utilizing a ton of different abilities. You have 2 basic attacks as well as a projectile shot and special attack, and mixing them together to perform combos is the name of the game. Complementing these basic attacks is the super ability
So
that
credit
becomes
ties.
available once filling
Give
up
me
the
the
game.
moment
Naturally,
when
each character also
Still
slightly
gotta get
differs in
hit
speed
on
and
that.
power. That makes trying out each essential to find one that suits your style of play. Another aspect that helps Panzer Bandit excel is the sheer level of unlockables that prolong the replay value. There's a total of 8 extra characters
Hey,
that can be
still
unlocked by
hit!
completing the story mode. And to top it all off, a multiplayer mode is included as well that allows you to take on the action with a friend. I really cannot express my love for this game enough. In my eyes, it is
What
one
a
of,
lucky
if not the best
decision.
beat 'em up on the system. If you've never played it, you owe it to
Ooh,
yourself to do so.
What a good old thing. But here it goes.
If there is one word that could
Poppin'
describe Poppin'
Tanks.
Tanks in a nutshell, it would have
1999.
to be fun. The game literally oozes charm, but at the same time offers a serious amount of depth in its gameplay. It's essentially a one-on-one shooting game that pits a variety of tanks against each other, with the entire experience being split
Ooh,
up into 2 separate
tanks.
modes, those being the story and something known
Well,
as Tank World. But what makes Poppin' Tanks so good
Well,
has to be
I'm-
the sheer
I'm a
level
bit
of
nervous about the
customization
cat.
that's afforded to the player.
you gonna
initially
try
start
this
off
on
with
me?
8 tanks, with many more becoming available throughout
It's
the
your
course of
choice.
the game. Each of them can be tailored to your specific style of play, with over 300 separate parts to earn and choose from. Various short and long-range weaponry makes the cut, as well as a slew of cosmetic items that really help bring a sense of personality to your creation.
But the will
One
help your
inclusion
friends?
that really
But
helps
who
the
cares
overall
about
quality of
that?
the gameplay is how the camera
It's
is
a
implemented
majesty.
during play. It automatically locks onto your opponent with the various obstacles that
Not
might
that
obscure
bad,
your
is
view,
it?
automatically becoming transparent as to not disrupt the on-screen action. It's a welcome inclusion that makes Poppin' Tanks all the more
Hey,
enjoyable
even
to
though
play.
the 12
If you're
days
looking
of
for
late
something to
breaking
play with
Yokai
friends,
Watch
Poppin'
Christmas,
Tanks is the
I bet
perfect
it's coming
answer.
on December 25th through January 5th.
Treasure are one of the most beloved developers when it comes to games of old. From shooters to platformers, a huge variety of incredible experiences have been developed by them.
Yeah,
One being Raku
still is a
Gaki
little bit
Showtime. It's
shooting.
basically an arena
Still a
fighter
little
that
bit
shares
hard.
many
What,
similarities
you?
with the likes of Power Stone. It sees you taking on a group of enemies, with your
Easy
sole
on
task
death.
being that to take everyone out. Of course, there's a huge variety of ways to do exactly that, from boulders to missiles, and your main weapon, the smiley
Hey,
face.
still a
Now,
little
the
bit of
smiley
time.
face starts out happy at the beginning of each
Still a little
match,
bit-
but increases in
Sort
anger
of like
each
Paper
time it hits
Mario.
something. Eventually, it becomes so angry that it
a
starts
paper
flashing.
fighter,
And if a
like
character
Paper
picks up the
Mario.
smiley face at this time, they will perform a super
paper
attack,
cutout
which can
character.
inflict huge damage on enemies. On the other hand, some characters rely more on hand-to-hand fighting instead, inflicting damage with special moves that range from blowing up half of the screen to smacking people with their gigantic asses. The pace is very quick, as most characters can zip across the screen and throw a barrage of objects with little hesitation. Although some strategy is involved,
Yep,
most
what
of the
a
game
big
relies
hit.
on reflexes and maneuvering. In my eyes, Raku Gaki Showtime is one hell of a game, especially if you have some friends who are up for playing it as well. The PS1 was home to an
The
impressive
Adventure
range of
of Little
platformers,
Ralph.
but one that seems to have all but
1999.
been forgotten is The Adventure of Little Ralph. It shares much in common with the likes of Castlevania and presents
got
a
a
weapon-based
quest.
platformer with a lovable charm. You play
Still
as
a little
Ralph
bit
as you
cheeky.
set out to free a damsel in distress, which is all a bit cliche if I'm honest. But when it comes to platformers,
even know
the
about
story is
that?
never usually the
But here's
standout
me.
aspect. As Ralph, you possess
Give me
a
what
wide
you
range of
shot here.
abilities that utilize your sword. You have a basic swing as well as a downward thrust and a special charge that can block incoming projectiles. A selection of items also make the cut, from shields to several power-ups that adorn you with extra skills, such as longer reach and the ability to shoot fireballs. But it doesn't stop there, as Ralph is joined by his lovable companion Furio that can help you out in some real tight situations. Now, if there's one aspect
Hey,
of the
still a
game
little
which
bit
really
hit,
stands out,
but
it has
here
to
it
be
is.
the boss battles. They easily become the best part of the game, and each offer an increasing level of
Still
challenge
out of
as you progress.
adventures.
The best part, they each take on
The
an
Pharaoh.
entirely new form form of play and turn the game into a sort of 2D fighter, which shares much in common with the likes of Street Fighter. There's only about 4 of these encounters throughout the adventure, but they managed to mix up the gameplay and add an extra layer of depth to the overall experience. The Adventure of Ralph is an absolute marvel among old-school 2D platformers, and more than deserves a playthrough by anyone who never got round to doing so. The PS1 was no stranger to incredible shooters. With the likes of Einhander and Gradius, to name a couple, players were literally spoiled for choice. The one that often gets overlooked is Harmful Park. As with most side-scrolling shooters, gameplay largely revolves around your ship, and the several power-ups which you can earn along the way. What makes it different is that every weapon is based around food, from jelly beans to pies and ice cream. It's a pretty novel approach that lends the game a real sense of charm. Complementing these weapons are a range of items and power-ups that will help you deal with the waves of enemies that come your way. At times they can be relentless in their approach, and this is where Harmful Park truly comes into its own. It's a game that's not afraid to challenge the player, but with several difficulty modes available as well. The option is always there if you want to take it down a peg. Once you've made your way through the main attraction, there are several mini-games that help prolong the experience as well. The first one, Punch Ball, resembles Pong and requires 2 players to try and hit a ball into the player's goal. The second being Sky Circuit, which is essentially a racing mode that controls differently from the main game. And finally, Tank Battle, which is an overhead combat game that resembles Combat on the Atari 2600. And in all honesty, they're an absolute blast to play. If you're a fan of the genre, Harmful Park is well worth checking out. I've always been a huge fan of the Macross games, and originally got into them on the PSP. It wasn't until recently that I learned of VFX2, and it has soon become one of my favorites on the PlayStation 1. Now, it's loosely based on the anime of the same name, and sees players jumping into a wide range of impressive machines that have the ability to transform into several different states, those primarily being a fighter jet and incredibly powerful mechs. They grant you a wide selection of abilities in which to take on the mission-based adventure. As you would expect, each machine can be fully customized with a generous amount of weapon loadouts and visual touches that allow you to cater each to your specific style of play. May that be up close and personal or attacking from a distance, there are plenty of options that facilitate each way you can approach a mission.
I gotta need a piece of that action. Probably you're able to chocolate bars
the more intense situations you'll find yourself in. Out on the field, the controls are tight and responsive, allowing you to engage the enemy with confidence. And visually, the game is stunning and really shows what the PlayStation 1 was capable of when in the hands of the right developers. Each mission is unique and presents a variety of different locations to the player, from dense cities to sun-drenched beaches and nighttime flights. It just never gets old. So if this one passed you by, now would be the perfect time to jump in and give it a go for yourself. As many will know, I'm a huge fan of Kojima's work, from the Metal Gear Solid series to the more recent offerings like Death Stranding. But his early work is still some of the greatest, especially Police Notes. As the player, you assume the role of Jonathan Ingram, a private detective who is plunged into an intriguing tale involving his ex-wife and his past that comes back to haunt him. Now, the most impressive aspect of the game has to be the beautifully drawn cutscenes that help bring the narrative to life. For avid fans of Kojima's work, you're bound to notice a few familiar faces along the way as you unravel the mystery and soak in the intoxicating world the game presents. Gameplay-wise, it's a rather simple affair that sees you controlling a cursor on the screen. It allows you to access various interactive elements that allow you to perform actions such as traveling, conversing with NPCs, and taking part in a variety of minigames such as shooting. It's nothing groundbreaking, especially by today's standards, but it really suits the experience. And in all honesty, I wish similar games of this type would still be getting made today. Well, that does it for today's video.
What a nice apple. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, and we'll chat back next time for another country.
Alright, thanks for watching.